Hi everyone and welcome to Mr. Garbutt's music class. Today we're going to look at a new piece called The Takeaway Song. The Takeaway Song is a little bit trickier than some of the other pieces you've probably played of mine because it uses some different rhythms, and the extension version, which is the Takeaway Song version 2, which will be another video after this, uses some other notes that we haven't covered yet if you've only done E, D and C, but we'll get to those. So we're going to look at the new rhythms, some slight changes into how we read it because there's some extra little details that we need to look at, and then we'll get on and learn the notes and learn to play the piece. So the Takeaway Song uses 3 notes. It uses the notes C, D and E. Now if you've already played through some of my videos you should know those notes already, but we'll just go over the notes just in case if you forgot one or two things. So the C is the lowest down note on the stave. It's got this little line going through. The D is just a little bit further up. It's just underneath the stave. It's just underneath the lines. And then E is the note that lives on the bottom line of the stave. Okay, so E is the highest note, D is a little bit lower down, and C is further down still. And it has its own little line going through the note to tell us it's a C. Now, just to remind us how to play the notes on our instrument, to play the note C, we don't press any valves. To play the note D, we press our first and third valve. And then to play the note E, we press 1 and 2. Okay, so that's the valves and they're the notes. Now let's look at the rhythms. So the rhythm of the piece is quite straightforward because it's the same on every line. So if you see the rhythm pattern, it's the same on every line. It's just we've got different notes. Now it's called the Takeaway Song for a reason, because I use silly words to help us work out the patterns, okay? And it will make sense why it's called the Takeaway Song shortly once you hear the silly words. Now we've also got a new rhythm which we might not have done loads of, okay? So we've got these 2 notes. So they've got a little beam joining themselves together, and these ones are called quavers, okay? So what's happened, we've got a crotchet, we've split it down the middle, and we've got 2 separate notes. So we've got 2 quavers. So instead of playing 1 note for 1 beat like the crotchet is, we've got to play 2 notes in the space of 1 beat because we've split it in half. So instead of going 1, 1, 1, 1 and playing that every time, we've got to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We've got to play 2 notes in the same time. I'll just demonstrate a bit better with my mouthpiece, okay? So if I give you a click, so that's the beat. So every crotchet will be 1 sound on 1 click. So and quavers, we need to get 2 sounds because we split that crotchet in half. So we get, okay, so we get 2 sounds. So we've got to play some quicker notes there, okay? So to help us with the rhythm, in that first bar, we've got 2 sets of quavers. We've got a set of quavers, a crotchet, another set of quavers, and then another crotchet. Now the words to help me, the amount of syllables in the word match the rhythm. So for the 2 quavers, because you've got 2 notes, I use a 2-syllable word, so I use the word chicken. Because we've got chicken, okay? So that pattern goes chicken wings, which I know is a bit silly, and this is why I call it the Takeaway Song, because all the food is stuff you get from a takeaway. So it's called chicken wings, and then we've got a long semi-brief, so we got that chips, because we've got a really long chip, and then we've got the same pattern again, chicken wings. Then the last bar on the first line, this is where we've got something different, okay? So we've got 2 sets of quavers joined together. So when there's like 2 pairs next to each other, we join the 4 of them together, but it's still the same thing, just 4 quavers. So you could have chicken. However, I've got a different rhythm for this bit. We've got a little line between 2 notes at the end, okay? So we've got a little tie. Now it's not like a tie we wear, it ties the 2 notes together. So even though there's 5 notes there, we only play 4, because that last quaver is joined up to that minim. So it goes ba 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 ba, and we get a bit of a longer note, okay? So that one is doner kebab. So it's a bit silly, okay? So it's doner kebab. So that's the pattern for the last line. So if I put it all together, the words for each line, because it's the same pattern, it's just different notes, remember, it goes chicken wings, chips, chicken wings, doner kebab. Okay, so if I buzz that on my mouthpiece, and if you said the same words at the same time, it should match up. So if you think the silly words that I've just sang, I'll do it on my mouthpiece, so it should fit. So you should get So hopefully if you're saying the words at the same time, it should fit, okay? So that is hopefully an easy way to remember the patterns, okay? And that's the same, it's the same pattern on each line, we've just got to get the different notes. So on the first line, they are all C's. On the second line, it moves up a note. They're all D's. Then it moves up one note more to E's. And then the last line drops back down to C's, okay? So if I play that pattern just on the first line so you can hear it, okay? So you should hear, hopefully hear the silly words, and with the buzz, it should make the same thing, so we should get. So that's hopefully how it should sound. Then it's the same thing when we come to play our D, first and third finger, just to remind you, and our E, first and second finger, okay? So I'm going to put the backing track on now, you can play along with me, and as always, there'll be a version at the end where you can play on your own. I hope you enjoy playing that piece. It's quite a long piece to play. You do need to take lots of breaths. I should have mentioned that beforehand, but it's good practice to take some big breaths and to keep playing all the way through all those lines, okay? So there'll be a version of the track now at the end with the music on the screen so you can practice it without me playing, okay? I mentioned earlier there is a takeaway song number 2, which uses a slightly different note. It's the same patterns, but I'll go over that in the video. But we've got some different notes. So if you've already done E, D, and C, this one's perfect for you. But if you've done the other notes, which involves the note F, you can have a go at the takeaway song version 2. But I'll explain all that in the other video. Okay, have fun, take care, and we'll see you soon for the next lesson.